Oh yeah, by the way, this video is actually not sponsored by Sprite, okay? Let's go to the video. Alright, football season is back, Premier League season is back, prediction is back. Okay, now you might be thinking, where the hell have you been over the last 8 months since you last uploaded a video right now? Well, I've taken a bit of a hiatus to think about what my next content is gonna be, and I didn't think about what content on my channel I would say until the football season is back. So, with the Premier League is back, we're gonna be doing the prediction on where they're gonna finish for the entire 20 clubs in the Premier League. Now, hopefully, I can get half of it. I can get at least 10 out of 20 clubs correctly predicted in their position.
Stop the cap.
Because if I do, I'm a prediction god. It's as simple as that.
You're goddamn right.
So, let's not wasting our time over here. Premier League prediction. Let's start up right now. Who's going to be finished in the bottom table? Starting up right now with 20th. It has to be Bournemouth, the Cherries. I mean, I don't know what to do with Bournemouth right now, this situation right now. Yes, they have the championship. They have the same squad last season when they finished second in the championship. But the signings they made, just only made 2 signings, I would say. One of them being, I would say, from West Ham, Ryan Fredericks as a wing-back player who kind of been released from West Ham because he wasn't playing a lot for West Ham. So, I really didn't trust Bournemouth this season. And of course, Scott Parker, back in the Premier League. I mean, he's been in this situation before with Fulham and got them relegated. And also really interesting on how Dominic Solanke will do in the Premier League though. Can he score 10 plus though to keep them up? It's a 50-50, but realistically, I had to put them in 20th place because their squad is not good enough to compete in the Premier League. Coming right now with the 19th place. This is going to be a difficult one though because I feel like there's 5 teams are in the relegation fight for this season though. But I do feel Brentford is going to be the next team to go down though. Now, don't get me wrong, Brentford is a great team last season though. But well, my concern for Thomas Frank and the Brentford now, I mean, in mid-season, they were on a free fall / sleepwalking them to the relegation fight though. They only survived because they signed Christian Eriksen though. Now with him gone to Manchester United, they kind of get a replacement with Mikael Damska potentially now from Sampdoria. Is he a better player than Christian Eriksen? I'm just not convinced yet. It hasn't proven yet in the Premier League. But the rest of the signing they made, I do feel they have a chance, I would say, with Strakosha, Ben Mee, Lewis Potter, Aaron Hickey. Those 4 good signings, I would say. But I do feel missing Christian Eriksen would be the key, would be the missing key for them. And at the time when Eriksen was not in the team yet, Ivan Toney was struggling badly, I would say. Do I feel they have a chance to stay up? There's a possibility. But for me, it has to be them to go down with Bournemouth, 19th place for them. The final spot in the relegation zone. Now basically it's going to be a 5-team square for that relegation fight though. It's between Brighton, Leeds, Everton, Southampton, and even Fulham in the race. But I do feel Southampton's form, particularly end of season, is a bit of a worrying sight. They lost 5 out of 7 games to end the season, and the fact that attacking wise is a bit of a worrying sight now with Broja back to Chelsea. And when your leading scorer is a midfield player, James Ward-Prowse, scoring more goals than Che Adams plus Adam Armstrong combined, that is a worrying sight. I do feel the signings they made in the summer prove that they still have a genuine chance to stay up, I would say. Signings of Aribo from Rangers, Lavia, and Bazunu from Manchester City. I'm really going to be interested on Bazunu though. Is he going to be a good replacement of Fraser Forster? I do think so. I think he's going to have a lot of clean sheet, I would say, particularly making good saves, I would say. But do I think he's going to be single-handedly carry Southampton to safety when you have those attacking problems they had last season? Probably, but they still need to find a striker though. Would Livramento back in the starting lineup after his injury? Can they keep also Kyle Walker-Peters from Chelsea? There's a lot of stories going on for Southampton, but do I feel they're gonna have a chance to stay up? Realistically, yes. But for me, I have to put someone in the relegation zone, and it's gotta be Southampton. 17th place is going to be going to Fulham. Now, don't get me wrong, the last time that we saw in the Premier League though, their attacking was absolutely abysmal. So now with Carvalho gone, potentially it's going to be Ivan Caballero now as a replacement for Fabio Carvalho. I mean, their attacking wise, it's going to be a fun to watch. But we've seen Fulham in the past though, their attacking is just absolutely abysmal, particularly in the Premier League though. When your team scoring less than 35 goals in a 38-game season, when you have this good of a squad, you are an embarrassment, I would say. I do like the signings they made, I would say. And when you look at the signings, I would say, they got Paulinho, they got Kevin Mbabu, they got Andres Pereira, they got Maleno. They might have some new signings, I would say, maybe before the end of the transfer window. Do I feel this squad can stay in the Premier League though? I think they can, but we want to see what Mitrovic can do in the Premier League though. That's a big question mark though. Defensively, they could struggle once again, so that's going to be another question mark, but I do believe they're going to have a chance to stay up just until the final game of the season between Southampton and Fulham. So I'm going to pick them to finish in 17th place. So now 16th place is going to be another promoted club. It's going to be Nottingham Forest, and I'm really intrigued on what they're going to do this season, particularly on how Steve Cooper is going to handle in the Premier League though. And with the squad they made, the squad signing they made this summer, it's going to be pretty fun to watch though. Particularly they signed Jesse Lingard, Adi Tafolo, Lewis O'Brien, who am I forgetting, I would say?
12 seconds later. Much later. Eventually.
Nico Williams, and then the striker guy from Bundesliga, Union Berlin, coming as a record fee transfer. I mean, there's a lot to like about Nottingham Forest transfer window, but is this squad from the playoff last season can compete in the Premier League though? I think there's a chance they will stay up this season, but they were basically in the relegation fight for the entirety of the season. But they might even go up the table, obviously maybe go to 14, 13. But as for now, I'll put them in 16th place. In 15th, I'm gonna have to go for Brighton. Now, Graham Potter is a good manager, but losing 3 key players, I would say, that will hurt them massively, I would say. Particularly Cucurella, if I pronounce it correctly, I would say. Mark Cucurella is going to go into Chelsea. Bissouma to Tottenham Hotspur, that's a big loss for them. Leo also got a centre back. It's now going to Napoli. And they signed a couple of players who is a little bit unknown to the Premier League, so it's going to be pretty interesting what those players they signed going to do in the Premier League. Do I feel they're going to be in a relegation fight? Probably with the loss of play what they got. But I do feel, I think Graham Potter will help his team once again to survival. Basically 15 is their best position, I would say. In 14th place, might have to go for Leeds United. Now, losing Phillips and Rafinha, and also a youngster Jamie Shackelford on loan, that's a big loss for Leeds because that's a big loss for Leeds, I would say. But they got a lot of big money for them, for those 2 players, and they signed a lot of players who are proven in the Premier League but done well in other leagues. So the likes of Adams, Brendan Adamson, Luis Sinisterra, those 3 players I think will be a key play for Leeds though. And the fact that a lot of players they signed though is unproven, that's a bit worried. And also yes, I also forget they also signed on Rasmus Christensen from RB Salzburg. That's not a club that signed with Brendan Adamson though. It's gonna be interesting what Jesse Marsch can do in his first full season in the Premier League now. I do believe the squad they have right now, even though a lot of them is unproven in the Premier League, but if Jesse Marsch can gel those players they signed into the starting 11 and do well, I would say, they're gonna be a fun to watch in the Premier League. And I do, in fact, they're gonna finish in 14th, but they're gonna start well. They're gonna start well this season, but they will drop off at mid-season, I would say. So I will put them to finish in 14th place, but there's still an improvement compared to last season when they finished in 17th place. In 13th spot, we have to go for Everton. Now, we know Everton fans really want to forget that season completely out of their brain, I would say. I mean, that was just embarrassing for Everton. The fact that they win a relegation fight with that squad the entirety of the season. I mean, they needed Richarlison to save the team from relegation. Now he's going to Tottenham. I mean, they get 16 million, which is a good amount of money they got. But their reckless spending the past seasons have paid the price dearly for them, because they're not gonna have problem with the FFP though, the financial fair play though, because they need to sell a lot of players though. Now potentially they're gonna sell Anthony Gordon at some point though. But if they manage to keep him at least, that's a good sign. Now with Frank Lampard now into the charge for his first full season with Everton, I like the signing they made. I would say Dwight McNeil, James Tarkowski, Ruben Vinagre. Those three signings would have helped Everton at least to stable the squad. But do I feel their squad is much better than last season? I don't think so. Where is Calvert-Lewin? For crying out loud, this is the player who will help Everton score 15 plus goals. Where is he? Is he injured, or where is he actually?
Have you seen this man?
It's the player who can actually score goals for Everton. They will be once again in a relegation fight, but I do believe they will be staying comfortably this season. But they're gonna have a season that it's gonna be very much an unknown season for Everton. We don't know what to expect for them. The expectation is also low for them. It's basically gonna be just an average season for them. 13 for them. 12th place will be going to Crystal Palace. Now once again, Wilfried Zaha is still at the club. How that man, as good as the talent as he is, still at the club since leaving Manchester United. That is insane up there. And the fact Crystal Palace managed to keep him and avoiding the transfer window that all has been going under his team for how many years, I would say, that's amazing, I would say. And with that, I think Crystal Palace once again will be uncomfortable mid-17 when Zaha's still in the team. The fact that Emre Can has exploded in the Premier League, so losing Zaha could be, I would say, maybe can have a good or bad. And also Ousmane Edouard, we're gonna have at least good second season, I would say, because ever since he scored 2 goals against Tottenham, he was not really the player that Crystal Palace will hope for. But hopefully in his second full season, we'll see a different Ousmane Edouard. And in the transfer window, they only signed 2 players, I would say, one of them being Sam Johnson, who I think is going to be fighting for that goalkeeper competition with Gaeta. So it's going to be an interesting season, I would say. Patrick Vieira did a really good job last season, but can he sustain it next season? I think he can. So I'll predict them to finish in 12th if only Zaha stay at the club. If Zaha stay, comfortable 12th place finish for them. Alright, 11th place. This might shock you. I will go for Newcastle United. Wait, hold your horses, okay, Newcastle bandwagoners or fans. Yes, you had a great 2022 season, I would say. And I love the signing of January that were made, I would say. That basically kept them up last season, I would say. Trippier, Dan Burn, Matt Target on loan at the time, Bruno Guimaraes from Lyon. Those 4 great signings really helped Newcastle save that season, I would say. And also Eddie Howe is a good manager, I would say. But what my problem about Newcastle though is last season, they had to wait until the game 15 or 16 to get their first win of the season, I would say. That's basically a long time to get their first win. And the fact that they were stuck in a relegation fight in the first, 20 to 21 games, I would say, that at the time, Newcastle should be worrying them, because if Newcastle were relegated after being taken over by the Saudi, they will become a joke of a club, I would say. The fact that they managed to get relegated after just get taken over, I would say. That would have been an embarrassing moment for Newcastle. But they managed to stay up. And I love the signing, the signing they made, I would say. Particularly 2 players, Nick Pope from Burnley, and also Sven Botman. Newcastle has been targeted that guy since January, I would say. The fact they finally got that man shows that Newcastle are a serious club, and the club they're going to be watched out for in 2022-2023 season. If they get James Maddison, that would be a massive statement for them. But for now, they haven't signed Maddison just yet. I could be wrong. They might finish in the top 10. But for now, they haven't signed Maddison just yet. So I think they're going to finish in 11th place. Alright, now let's head into the top 10 right now. With 10th place, we'll be going to West Ham United. Last season, they finished in 7th place, which is a good season for them. And they didn't even reach Europa League semi-final, just losing out to Frankfurt. And yes, they did sign Gianluca Smacca from Sassuolo. He had a great season. But we've seen this story before with West Ham signing good striker and then all of a sudden after they sign for West Ham, they just flop massively, I would say. We don't want to get too excited of signing
That you had
Maka. So it's gonna be interesting what he can do in the Premier League. And also they did sign Nayet Aguet, who's defender from Lens. So we don't know what he's gonna do in the Premier League. So it's gonna be a little bit interesting. And they managed to keep Declan Rice, which is a good sign for West Ham. And this could be the first season since Mark Noble retired last season. I do feel the third time charm will be the unlucky charm for David Moyes this season. And I do feel they're gonna finish in 10th place. And I think they will go far in the Europa Conference League, which is still a good season from them. 9th place will be going to Leicester City. Now, it all depends on how Maddison's situation right now. If they manage to keep him, that's a good sign for them. The fact that even Jamie Vardy missing a lot of games last season, even though he scored 15 goals, but remember at the first half of the season, he was injured a lot. So that's the reason why I would say Patson Daka will be a good replacement for Jamie Vardy, I would say. And I do in fact that Patson Daka will score more goals than Jamie Vardy this season, I would say. I think Patson Daka will overtake Jamie Vardy in that starting 11. And if they manage also to keep Tielemans, I would say that's also a big bonus for them. But the bad news, Kasper Schmeichel has been left to Nice, the French club. And now they have to rely on Daniel Iverson as the #1 goalkeeper for Leicester, I would say. And also the situation of Wesley Fofana on whether or not he will stay at Leicester or even go to Chelsea though. So there's a lot of stories going up for Leicester City, I would say. But the problem right now, they haven't signed a single player. If they manage to lose the loss of 2 players of Maddison and Tielemans, that's a big loss for them, I would say. So I think if they manage to keep him for now, they'll finish in 9th place. But there's a possibility maybe at the end of the transfer window, Maddison will be gone soon to Newcastle or even Tottenham, I would say. But for now, I'll put them to finish in 9th place. In 8th place will be Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now I do believe if they manage to keep Neves and Moutinho this season, I think Wolverhampton will bring 5 this season. If they manage one of them at least, it's going to be a big loss, I would say. But last season, attacking-wise, was a problematic last season, I would say. The fact that Raul Jimenez and Daniel Podence only scored 6 or 7 goals in the Premier League, that is a worrying sight because attacking-wise, I would say last season, I would say, was not good. I would say they only scored less than 38 goals. That's like average of less than 1 goal per game, I would say. That's not a good sign for them. Francisco Trincao are back to Barcelona once again. In came in once again Adama Traore after his own loan spell with Barcelona. So whether or not that Wolves might keep Adama Traore this season, I would say, it's going to be an interesting story. And they did only sign 1 player, Nathaniel Collins from Burnley. Do I think it's going to be a good signing for Wolves? Maybe. And also they made Hwang Hee-chan's loan become permanent, so that's a good sign. But I do feel that Daniel Podence will explode this season, I would say. And of course, Jose Sa last season was amazing for Wolves last season. Do I feel that next season is going to improve in attacking, I would say? Yes. Do I feel they're going to be challenging for Europe this season? Maybe. So that's why I'm going to pick them to finish in 8th place. In 7th place, we have to go for Aston Villa. Now, this is going to be a big race to take Aston Villa to finish in 7th place. Their squad should be good enough to finish in the top 10 or even fighting for Europe, I would say. Because the fact that they signed Diego Carlos, they signed Boubacar Kamara on free from Marseille, they made Philippe Coutinho loan into a permanent deal, and they still have the squad last season when I would say this squad should be good enough competing for Europe, I would say. But my concern for Aston Villa is inconsistent form last season hurt them massively last season. And the fact that the loss of Jack Grealish could be the pivotal point of Aston Villa downfall. It's going to be pretty interesting on what they're going to do next season, I would say. Are they going to be the most fun watch next season? Or are they going to be the most frustrating teams to watch though? So I do believe it's going to be a battle between those 5 clubs from 7th to 10th place. But I do believe Aston Villa will get the 7th spot in the final Europa Conference League spot. But let's start up with 6th place. Will be Manchester United. Now, it's a toss-up between Chelsea and Manchester United, I would say. But I do think United's squad it's a bit of a weaker than Chelsea, I would say. Now, of course, the story has been around Cristiano Ronaldo and also Frankie de Jong. Now, whether or not that these two saga story will complete it before the transfer window is just to be decided. I would say we don't know what's gonna happen with United, but they did sign Malacia, Christian Eriksen, and also Lisandro Martinez from Ajax. Now, if they manage to keep Cristiano Ronaldo in the team, that's a big bonus for them because he was basically the reason United managed to finish in 6th place though. If they sign Frankie de Jong, that's a good sign also because that will basically improve the team massively, basically in that midfield area. He'll be basically starting over McTominay and even Fred, I would say. So I do believe it might take some time for Erik ten Hag to actually adjust to his system, for the players to adjust to this Erik ten Hag system. It might take a couple of years to see United return to glory days, but I do feel they're gonna see good football once again. It might take some time. They might even challenge it for top 4, but for now, 6th place is gonna be their best position for me. 6 for them. Now with 5th place with Chelsea. Now, Chelsea transfer window has been nothing short and amazing, full of failures, I would say. The fact that they had the chance to sign Cristiano Ronaldo, Lewandowski, Jules Koundé was basically their top centre-back target, I would say. Rafinha, who at the time was personally agreed with Leeds United. The fact that he now go to Barcelona, even Koundé the same thing also, that is just a gut wrench in the Chelsea fans because they knew that signing Koundé would be massively in the defensive, I would say. But the fact that they still managed to get 2 players, I would say, Sterling and Cooley. So it wasn't that bad of a transfer window they had. And also, there might be a 3rd player with Marc Cucurella right now from Brighton for 50 million. Is he going to be an improvement to Ben Chilwell? Potentially, I would say. Now with Chilwell is still injured, I would say. So he might start most of the games, I would say. Do I feel that the loss of Lukaku will be a big loss for them? Yes. They still have no strikers because Timo Werner, though, he's gonna be leaving on loan to Leipzig at some point. Do I feel this team will be in the once again the Champions League race? I would say absolutely. Do I feel they're gonna finish in top 4? It's a no for me. They're gonna finish in 5th place. In 4th will be Arsenal. Now Arsenal, don't get me wrong, they signed a lot of good players, I would say, particularly Gabriel Jesus, who I think is a big improvement to Eddie Nketiah and Alexander Lacazette. And he started well in the preseason, I would say. He's looking really sharp, I would say. I mean, they pay around 40 million, I would say. And there were a lot of clubs that would try to get Gabriel Jesus, I would say, including Arsenal, including Tottenham, were in the race for Gabriel Jesus, though. So the fact that Arsenal managed to get him is a good sign. And they also signed Alexander Zinchenko, who I believe can not only play in that left back position, but also can play in a midfield position though. They also signed Fabio Vieira, attacking mid from Porto. It's a bit of a wild card study on whether or not he's going to be proved in the Premier League. It's still remains to be seen. They did lose a couple of players, with the likes of Alexander Lacazette back to Lyon. Guendouzi has now become a permanent signing for Olympique Marseille. Nuno Tavares on loan to Marseille is a bit of a weird one, I would say. But I do believe that squad, I think, good enough to challenge for top 4. And I stand by this. They're going to finish in the top 4 for sure. And they will finish in 4th place, guaranteed. In 3rd place, I have to go with my boys, Tottenham Hotspur. Now, we done well last season, finishing 4th place and get that final Champions League spot. So we're back in the Europe's biggest competition. Now, we do sign 6 players. Basuma, Longley, Sergio Forster, Jess Spence, Ivan Perisic, and also Richarlison. 6 players who I think is going to be helpful to our depth, I would say, because last season it's been our weaknesses last season, I would say, the depth. Now, of course, we were also linked to James Patterson and also Nicolo Zaniolo now. Those 2 creative players, I would say. So it's going to be pretty interesting on whether or not we're going to sign those players. There are also rumors that we're going to go for Skriniar from Inter Milan, Nikola Milenkovic from Fiorentina. Do I feel those 6 signings that we made will help fighting with City and Liverpool? I don't think so. But do I feel we're going to challenge for trophies? Absolutely. Hopefully we're going to win domestic cup at least. That's at least a good time we can challenge for trophies at least. It's gonna be a close battle between Arsenal, Chelsea, and United once again for the top 4. But hopefully we're gonna start the season well and be consistent until the end of the season. And I do feel we're gonna finish in 3rd place. So it all comes down to the top 2 right now, and we know who's gonna be the top 2 though. And but my question is, who's gonna be finishing 1st and 2nd? So 2 clubs just signed a new striker. Erling Haaland to City, Darwin Núñez from Liverpool. Now, who do I think has the best chance to win the Premier League? Now, I do feel that we're gonna once again have a title race right up until the end of the season, I would say. But I think City will have a slight edge over Liverpool. Now, here's why. Yes, they lose Jesus, they lost Sterling, they also lost Zinchenko, and they also lost Fernandinho also. So 4 players gone. But they also replaced with 4 players who I think are gonna make a big difference, particularly Julian Alvarez signing for River Plate. Now, of course, they did sign Calvin Phillips from Leeds United for around 25 million. But there is a rumor that Bernardo Silva is going to be leaving Man City though to Barcelona. If indeed does happen, that is the biggest loss for City though. But I do feel that City squad is much better than Liverpool. I do feel that City will be winning the Premier League once again for the 3rd consecutive season. Now let's talk about Liverpool. Now, I do feel Liverpool will have once again Man City's closest title challenger this season. And the signings they made, Núñez, Fabio Carvalho, is going to be a great attacking depth once again. I do feel Salah's going to have a good season, I would say. Do I think he's going to have a similar season last year? Probably. But I do feel now he's going to be the main player this season, I would say. And also Jota that's going to be playing in that striker position, I would say. Now he just signed a new contract. That is the good news also for Liverpool fans. I think it's going to be a major title race once again. With Manchester City just pipped Liverpool to the Premier League title. So there we have it. The full 2022-2023 Premier League prediction has just been finished. As you can see this table right now, there might be some controversial, I would say, but I think my prediction will be at least good enough for me to get a couple of rights. But of course, there's gonna be a lot wrongs, I would say. And of course, now I'm back on YouTube. I'm gonna be uploading more videos, not just for a full video. There's gonna be some short video, I would say. So make sure to subscribe to my channel to see the new content of my channel. And don't forget to like the video and make sure to comment down below. Do you guys agree with my prediction? If you don't, make sure to comment down below who do you think is gonna be winning the Premier League title, or even finishing in the top 4, or who do you think is gonna go down to the championship. So with that, make sure to subscribe it. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.